It's 6:01, so we'll go ahead and get started. So I call the meeting to order at 6:01 for the invocation. Mr. Powell, I'm going to ask again, could you do a lovely job? But if you would stay standing with the pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, you've given us a spectacular day, and we're just so grateful that we get to be here in this place. Beautiful. Lord, you have great things that you want to do here tonight and in the city, and we just ask that you would bless this city with your favor, just like you did today. Let the sun shine in it. Lord, let it happen in the library, and we ask you to bless all those who are there, bring kids, all the knowledge and wonder of this world. Lord, we thank you for those who work here and who put up with all of the difficulties of just beginning the government, Lord. It's a lot of questions and some anger. Lord, we just ask for you to give us your understanding and wisdom in how to deal with those things. Bless this meeting, bless the decision making, bless the friendships here, Lord, and help them to grow. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Powell. Okay, we're going to move on to the roll call, and everybody is present, including our city attorneys. One person is not here tonight. That's Joe Walter, who is with our Planning and Zoning Commission. Contacted him because we were requested to table an item that he would have helped us with tonight. And since that has been tabled, or will be tabled at the request of the developer, we thought it was prudent to let Joe know that he didn't need to be here to save on his time and to save on the money of the city. So he is not here tonight. For the agenda approval, I will ask for a motion for the agenda. Actually, I have a couple of things I need to make changes, but on the agenda, if you will allow me. The first thing is invoices over 5,000. We will put there that there are none at this time. And we will add under, before we add, I'm going to remove under new business, the city of Walnut Grove federal calendar holiday Juneteenth. That would be done when you're working on the manual. So under new business, please add municipal building HVAC replacement. And you have in front of you quotes for that HVAC replacement. Under old business, number 1, approval of ordinance. We're going to remove the words ordinance for, and I apologize for having that in there with mine being gone, holidays happening. We didn't want to update that before the meeting so that everybody knew. What we're going to be approving tonight is the approval of the city administrator position. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we reach that. And those are all the changes. And now Chris is here tonight, so I'm going to allow you guys to vote if we get to that.
Under old business, number 2, city hall, there's some folks who need to have Apex.
We can, okay, we can add Apex changing of Coney painting and Four Brothers Construction. You have votes on all that, right? Thank you. Are there any other additions or deletions?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to, on the consent agenda.
That's appreciated.
Okay.
Are there any motions to approve the agenda?
I will approve the agenda with the following changes under old business. Strike out the words ordinance for on number 1. Under number 2, we will be looking at quotes from Apex, Ford Brothers, and Oconee Painting, as well as Henderson. Under new business, number 1 should be municipal building HVAC replacement, and City of Walnut Grove federal calendar holiday should be removed. And the invoices over 5,000 removed under, yeah.
Okay. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all in favor of approving the agenda? Say aye. For anybody against? No. All right. The consent agenda, I'll ask for a motion on approving the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the invoices over 5,000 as known.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Aye. Okay. Motion. So we'll move on to committee report with the DEA and Rachel Davis, who is the representative on the city council.
Well, right now, we don't have anything to report.
Thank you. Okay. Under the Planning and Zoning Commission, we have Megan Reagan, who is the commissioner, and then we also have Joe Walter, who is the Planning and Zoning Administrator. The Planning and Zoning Commission sent forth a recommendation with conditions, but at the request of the developer, he has asked us to table for 30 days the rezoning case. He'd like more time to discuss sewer capacity and how they plan to stage our development in concert with the sewer capacity expansions. And so I would like to ask for a motion to table this item until our next council meeting, which would be on August 15th.
Yes.
August 15th.
I will make a motion to table this plat application for WGRZ 24-01 for 30 days until our next city council meeting on August 15th. So
Yes, that is, at 6 p.m.
that's 6 p.m.
Is there a second? To table that?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Could
Go ahead. Is it regarding the actual PUD? Because Chris came tonight in case there's any
Well,
questions.
yes and no.
Okay, Chris,
Okay.
why don't you come?
But I'm going to ask the question on tabling this for the 30 days. Does that in any way affect the rezone, having to be re-advertised or anything like that?
It does not.
Okay.
Everybody who is wanting to participate is in the room tonight. Who knows that it's getting rescheduled. That's the advertised time.
I just wanted to be sure we were, they were ready.
Very good shape.
Good point. Chris did ask me to go ahead and he wanted to share a little bit of information, if that's okay with everybody. I would like to hear, it's not going to be a long information, but Chris, you're here to speak. Go ahead.
Did we get the vote first?
Oh, let us vote on tabling this first. All in favor of tabling the PUD application WGRZ 24-01 to August 15th, 6 p.m. Raise your hands, please. All in favor? Okay. So moved.
So coincidence, because I'm here to request a new table tonight. It was going to be my request tonight, but you're ahead of me. The one thing that sounded like we needed to discuss more is, Mayor, I provided you a summary of demand to sewer. Part of it was pretty aggressive on restaurants. Way the calculations are done, it's just, I think, general engineering standards of demands of different types of uses. What I'd like to do in the meantime, between now and August 15th, is get with, we have a division of wastewater engineers, to get them to come up with a report for a year-by-year demand. Tighten up some of the numbers when it comes to specific uses like restaurants. are not full of tables every square foot. There are, in restaurants, there's a kitchen, there's probably an office. And so I think there's, instead of doing general engineering standards, we can probably get into some real specifics with these engineers that I've got. So what I'm going to provide before the 15th is more of a report for year 1, 2, 3, and 4, what the demands of each of those years go. And you can look to see what the improvements are for the sewer.
Yeah.
And then see how that matches up. So that's what I'm doing now.
Very much in line with when I spoke to Mr. Rutledge and said, I know that you are planning on doing this in phases, and that aggressive number, which you guys do not feel is going to be as high as what you stated. Within phases, it may coincide more too with the phase 3 of the sewer expansion.
Sure.
So if we could get more detailed information on that, we can make a better decision.
Right. That's quite
Definitely.
And I've got the resources.
And thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. We'll go ahead and,
I would like to ask one question. Sorry, I was gonna keep my mouth shut unless I talk. The road that y'all have built in, would y'all be, apt to meeting with the city and the county so we can discuss that road? I think there's some, I don't know that there's gonna be a cut through area where y'all have the road at, or the park. And so that could change the design a little bit.
There's not a lot of room to move it to the north because of the entire stream. So I did the best I could to keep it where the environmental would go. If it doesn't become a road, it becomes a road.
Right.
We would like it to be a road because that's a connection between this and the park would be awesome. But I don't know what the DOT, Long County DOT, do they have plans? I haven't seen any, but I'm willing to meet with them and reach out with them. So maybe between now and August 15th, I'll just see if staff has any.
I think the county plans on getting with the city to get a date together, and so hopefully the city is in touch with you guys once they have that date. Then hopefully that can happen before the 15th.
I think that would be a great idea. The more things we can get hammered out before decisions are made, the better off we're all going to be, and the citizens are going to be, and that is our ultimate goal.
To ask for the August 15th, Century Stewart on the meeting for Long County DOT. Okay.
Great. Okay, I also wanted to go ahead and go over that Joe Walter, in his absence, supplied us with a zoning administrator's report. And I'd like to go over this just to let everybody know and be aware of what is going on in the city, and how much is going on in the city. Active rezoning cases, variances, et cetera. We have the Matt Rutledge HUD request, and which was deferred tonight or tabled tonight to the next council meeting. A&S Walton Investment Group LLC has requested a AGC2 to C2 to be heard at the Planning Commission meeting. Calvin Barton has requested a rezone from C1 to C2 to be heard at the 8:15 Planning Commission meeting. Site plans under review are Benchmark Excavating, the office warehouse site development that's already been approved for a rezone, maximum RX credit, which a second review has been done on that. That's on Guthrie Cemetery Road and Industrial Drive, the Enclave at Dial Farm, Commercial Track 2, plans reviewed and comments generated, waiting on all approval letters. Stonehaven, which is the old Diamond Creek. Their construction plans have been received and are under review. And then we have active recent land disturbance permits issued by the city, and it's the Walnut Grove gas station. They have applied for a renewal of their land disturbance permit. The Enclave Bud Commercial Phase 4 LDP land disturbance permit. S&E Cabinet Shop, Guthrie Cemetery Road, permit renewed. 1261 Industrial Parkway is under construction. And then other active projects are the Grove Park being put in by Walton County. Phase 1 is under construction. And those are all things going on within the city.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
I do have a question. The property 8, Calvin Martin,
Yes,
where's that at?
that's on 138. It is in between the intersection in Walnut Grove heading out towards Monroe. It is currently a C1 and they're requesting it go to a C2.
Is that before or after the liquor store?
before the liquor store. It's a own property right now that is.
Is that the brick house?
Is that Patsy Martin?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
We are going to move on to our library report by Dana. Welcome, Dana.
Glad to be here. Everybody's having a beautiful day.
You've seen a lot of kids outside the library today.
Oh, we had hula bubbles by Miss Jenny today. One of the best volunteers ever. She does an amazing job.
And you look very pretty tonight. I love that outfit.
Thank you, thank you. It has been a great summer at the library. We exceeded my goal. I hope to have 500 people sign up for summer reading, and we exceeded 500 people. So we've been working on that for 6 years now. We have to go to check it off the to-do list, but not only that, the participation this year has been higher than any year before. So we've given away hundreds of free books to adults and children who have participated in summer reading. And we have about 3 weeks left, I think. It will end on the Monday before school starts, which brings me to, I'm going to ask Dr. Klein at Walnut Grove Elementary if I can set up a library table. I'm still getting word out to all the parents and students that every public school student in Walton County can check out 5 library books with their lunch number. And that's been successful ever since we started it, and it's been very helpful this summer. I have noticed a lot of our citizens surrounding Walnut Grove coming to the library to cool off in the afternoons. So we have entire families, aunts, uncles, grandparents coming to the library. I think lack of air conditioning at some homes might factor into that. So our afternoons have been busier, because that's typically been a little bit of a slower time after lunch, and it's not been really slow. Which also brings me to the fact that we are still hiring for 5 positions at the library. 2 17-hour positions, a brand new 10-hour position, and 2 substitute positions. One of the team members' last day is August 15th. And then my substitute, Miss Townley, who is the media specialist at Walnut Grove Elementary, will obviously be going back to school soon, and we are going to miss her terribly. I mean, she's still going to be a substitute and help out in the evenings and when she can and on Saturdays, which would be great because I will be working this Saturday. So please send people my way. I really want to get these positions filled. What else? Michelle's Magical Cookie Show is coming up this month in July. And we will start to scale back just a little bit in August due to staffing issues. But also, it's back to school time for our families. So the main thing that we see in August is just a lot of books coming back to the library. So we'll have all of our regular programs, but I don't typically have a lot of new programs in August just due to not as much participation. But speaking of participation, we see about 2,200 people each month in the summer at Walnut. So just in case you're ever wondering, we see a lot of people in the library every month. So we did not exceed June's numbers for last year, but we were close. So I think that's it. We're always in need of magazine donations, but the food pantry has been very well stocked.
Great.
So throughout the summer. So it's in great shape. Oh, but my main thing, thanks for the pressure washing of all the sidewalks around the library. It looks gorgeous. And now we don't have to worry about the slippery, mildewy slip hazard for people coming in, especially through the staff entrance. It looks amazing. It looks wonderful. I'm very, very grateful.
Great.
Yes.
Management. Y'all like particular kinds or you old, new, doesn't
Oh,
matter?
it does not matter, just as long as they have pictures. The special needs person that comes to the library makes collages out of the magazines. So as long as they have pictures, he does not care. They get magazines that are 20 and 30 years old on a regular basis, and they're perfectly happy to use those. So it doesn't matter as long as there's pictures. We get everything from architecture to planes and aerodynamics, and you name it, we get all kinds of magazines, and I love the variety. It's pretty cool.
Expect to see me.
Love them. anybody ever wants a tax receipt for donations, I'm happy to provide that. So, especially with books, you just need to count how many hardcover and how many softcover. Or, you know, if it's DVDs or whatever is being donated, just give me a number and I'm happy to do that tax receipt.
Great, thank you, Dana, for everything. Okay, now we come to the public comment portion, but there is no public tonight. So we will move on. Just in case somebody showed up. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is the approval of the city administrator position. And before we vote on this, I know we talked about it, but I wanted to share with the council my plan on moving forward with this. What we would do is we would advertise this not only with local newspaper, but also with the GMA avenue of getting the word out about this position, as well as Kimberly, is there something going on with the? Okay, great. All right. Along with the surrounding cities and any other avenue that we can go through to get the word out about this. This is a very important position. Once we do get the word out, what we will be doing is creating a panel for review of applications or resumes that come in. Once that panel has reviewed and we've worked it down to a workable number, not wanting to miss out on anybody, so I don't want to see a certain number. That panel will also be the interview panel. And it will be, the panel will be made up of additional city clerks, a city, not city clerks, there's one city clerk, several city managers, a council member or two, and anybody else who is very familiar with that position, maybe maybe one of our city attorneys or Joe Walter, our city planner, somebody who's familiar with our city and also with the position and what it entails to help us fully realize what we need here for the city and find the right person. Once that is done, that will then go on to a review of council and myself. And we will make a final decision. It is going to be a 2 to 3 months process. We've got to get somebody in here as soon as possible if you all decide on doing this tonight, but I wanted to make you all aware of what my process at this point would be to bring somebody on and somebody in this position. Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I love the idea of the board that you're creating in order to interview this person, and then presenting it to council and yourself. Will, by saying presenting it to council and then yourself, does that mean that council is going to interview them and yourself as well? Or we are just going to be given the information that the review panel has came up with about the applicants?
There will be several people from council on the review panel.
Okay.
And then that review panel will make their final recommendation to us and myself.
Okay.
And I'm open to ideas if we need to streamline that, if you feel that there's a better way to do it or just a better way to do it or something that you would like to see. Absolutely open to it. We need to make sure that if this person is going to be brought on, we are making a well thought out, researched interview process. We need to do this right.
Okay, so let me be clear what we would be approving tonight. Would we be approving that we are going to hire or approving to go through the process to determine are there candidates that fit our needs after we determine our needs, and then we look at the more logistic things such as salary and timeframes and that sort of thing?
Yeah, right now we're approving to move forward with the process.
Okay, that's with my understanding.
You guys are approving the position if that is what you choose to do tonight.
The full-time or part-time?
It was a full-time position.
Full-time. Hourly or salary?
Salary.
Salary. And who would you report to? He or she?
Council. Right? The administrator or me? Me.
It's the mayor's executive position operationally is where all that authority is vested. And so the only place available, there's not an executive position underneath the council. It's a strong mayor. It's an important.
Mayor, if we vote to approve this tonight, how soon do you anticipate posting the job opening?
As soon as possible.
And the
By next week.
description that you have in our packet,
Yes, and we would also talk with our attorneys to make sure that if we need to put an ordinance in place, we will put an ordinance in place to make sure that that is, we are following the rule of the letter of the law. And, yes, but ASAP.
And you would be creating the panel.
I would, and if there are suggestions for people, I am wide open to that.
Sure.
Do we need to talk about those suggestions tonight? Or,
No, if you want to go ahead and email me those suggestions, that would be fine. Any other questions? Or comments?
Where will he work? For the office?
Where would he or she be put in the city hall? We'll figure something out.
Will we be able to set meetings with him and talk with him? Will we be welcome to come to City Hall and visit with him?
You're always welcome to come to City Hall and visit with anybody to do work. Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Mhm. Any other questions?
I would like to make a motion that we proceed forward with the possibility we will be putting on a city administrator / manager, I think it kind of
It's administrative.
administrator.
Administrator.
Is-
I would like to have something before I make a motion.
Well, we've already got a motion started,
Okay.
so let's go ahead and finish the motion.
Yeah, that we proceed forward with the consideration of a city administrator.
Is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
I would like clarification on whether it affects our charter or not. Because it does state that the city of Walnut Grove is governed by a strong mayor and 4 city council. Does it make allowances for city administrator?
The form of your government is strong mayor. Your charter is ambiguous and in error with a paragraph concerning the city manager. But the reason the mayor qualified, this is not a city manager, it is a city administrator. City administrators come into strong mayor situations as a normal employee underneath the chief executive. And so it doesn't change the form of government at all. It's regularly used by cities in transition from full-time or part-time mayors being executives to full-time city managers being the executive running the city. And so it's just an attempt to start that process towards professional, trained, dedicated people who are dedicated and specialized in city operation. But it doesn't change the form. That's why it's a term of art, city administrator, meaning they really don't have charter authority. They are like every other employee working underneath the mayor.
it's no different than having a code enforcer or
That's right. That's exactly right. And the I think there was a question concerning their report to council. And this goes with city manager positions too, is that whoever the chief executive is really has all the authority when it comes to employee instructions. The council members always have the ability to go talk to employees for purposes of investigation. Where most cities get sideways is when council members start giving executive instructions without coming back and doing it from. You can do all your instructions legislatively is what you end up doing, but not a meeting with an employee. And so that it would be the same with the city district. Go talk, get information, follow up that they report to the mayor in terms of instructions.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. It's been seconded. All those in favor of moving forward with putting into position a city administrator position, please raise your hand. And there's nobody against. Thank you very much.
Well, it makes you feel any better. I talked to a lot of people when we were at the conference, and almost everyone I talked to felt like they would pay for themselves ultimately in what they would save us another year.
I think that's what we have found also.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on. For city hall repairs and paint quotes, as you all know, we've already approved the roofing. We already approved the seal coating. And we need to go ahead and take care of city hall. We have several issues on city hall that have not been handled in some time with siding repairs, some a leak or two, and the paint is well past needing to be done. We have contacted 4 different companies and they have submitted 4 different quotes. And it's really great to see that they're really no further apart in pricing than $7,000 from the lowest to the highest. I want to thank Erica Miles, Councilmember Miles, for helping out with 2 of these. Got another one in myself, and then Brian was able to bring in one also. So it's wonderful working with a group of people who are so willing to help out in this manner to get this done. As you can see, Four Brothers Construction is the lowest at $10,005. And you can see on their estimate, which I believe is the last one, it is, it's very nondescript. It's, the numbers there and a very brief description of what they will be doing. Then we have the next one in line is Oconee Painting. It was very descriptive on what they'll doing with repairs and whatnot.
I would like to point one thing out with that bid. I spoke with him, Bonnie.
Okay.
This does not include the 3 additional structures.
It does not. Okay.
He wouldn't be able to give me that number until Monday.
Okay.
This was just city hall.
Just
This
say
was just City Hall.
And it doesn't include the handrails or the posts or porches?
no, none of them
Just
do.
the-
None of them do. They've all been recently painted by our Public Works Department. And then we have Apex Painting at $16,975.20. And then we have Henderson Painting and Drywall at $15,260. Fine. I could make the suggestion, like we did on the other quotes that we received for the roofing and the seal coating, that when we do get a number in from Oconee Painting, the painting of those back 3 buildings, I don't anticipate that being all that great. We can add them on, and if you are comfortable with that, I can go ahead and work with our Public Works manager to come up with what we think is the best company to go with. If you would like to make that decision tonight, that's fine. If you would like to wait, we can wait. If you'd like to just move forward tonight with what we have, we can do that. It is in your court.
I am also with the Apex, that's 16,975, so they're the highest, correct? I have a pony here and I have Four Brothers. I don't have the other number though. Thank you.
That's 15,260.
Okay. Four Brothers mentions 3 storage units. Are there 3 storage units?
There's 3 buildings in the back. One of the buildings is the well, and it has just like a little apex area of paint.
And then 2 storage.
Okay.
This isn't a motion, this is a discussion.
Okay.
Oconee Painting is extremely professional, does an extremely good job. They're at 11,760 right now. I don't see it being much more for those other buildings. I feel like if they come in below 15 grand, I'm very comfortable with them. I know that that is a correct way to. The reason I am familiar with Ford Brothers as well, however, and Ford Brothers has painting crews, they are they're a general contractor, they do everything. However, they're best known for roofs, which that is the company that we're going with for the roofs. When I was out there, and Edgar is the owner's name, when we were talking about the job, he was talking about pressure washing the side of the building, and the paint, if you go look at it, is bubbling on the side of the building. It's like detached, like they didn't prime the wood before they painted it. And so Edgar was saying that they could just pressure wash that and it would, and then they could just paint over it. Instead, with Oconee paintings, that they would actually sand it down, prime it, and then paint it. And so that is one reason I felt like I'm more.
Okay, so Oconee said they would sand, they didn't say scrape, they said sand. And there's a
They-
difference.
Right, yes. Well, what this is, I don't want to put words in the mouth, this bid says scrape and sand and prime filling paint on the back side of the original house. This is what it says,
Exactly.
and that's where it's called in the.
So that wood exterior is subject to having areas, including the front that may not be seen, that are already popping up like on the bottom side of the board.
Right.
I'm gonna bring something to your attention too. On the Henderson drywall, painting and drywall, they are painting all the floor tramps, floors, and we can take that out of the quote if we choose to do. But they're at 15, which is only just a few above the Oconee. I would like to make a suggestion. If you are open for it. I think the Four Brothers and construction and the Apex being the high and the low, and we've already stuck the low. This is not their specialty. If you would allow me, I'd like to go back to Henderson Painting and Drywall and Oconee and ask for some further clarification on these two issues about the porches and the handrails, about the preparation before painting, sanding and whatnot. There's something else I saw in the Henderson painting was that they will replace window trim. They're also going to repair glazing and paint all windows. And that's something additional that we did not ask of them. But if you are comfortable with that and allow me to do that, go back and come back to the next work session. This is not something that has to be done immediately, and I'd rather get it right if you guys are open to that.
So while we're on the topic of bids and bidding, the norm in construction bidding, and this is probably something that a city administrator would probably just be naturally trained to do. It would be, the bids would come in a sealed way, so that when you're comparing them, there is a low bidder. And the sort of the target of government is to put blinders on, open up a document, everybody be on the same page, and then the low bidder gets it as long as they fill out the bid sheet correctly in the same way you would expect it to be. The way you get there is you don't ask them what they're going to do, you tell them what they're going to do.
Right.
You know, and what you've done is great. You've collected up, well, this is what professionals think, and this is sort of the price range. Well, we sort of know it. Now we want to say, well, we want to go back to them and say, we want everybody the same. We want everybody to do this. We want all three buildings painted, and there's a line item for each one of those things in what is a seal bid. And then you can't qualify bidders. And you can say you have to be of a certain level of expertise that you're familiar with. We could qualify and say, okay, put in your qualifications and then based on information, we can eliminate and then just let his group, the other group, because they have bigger crews, they can do the work, you can qualify those bidders, but in achieving what y'all are trying to do, I think I would have a bid sheet that said exactly what you want it to be, let them present in seal bid way so that they're identical in their commitment to the project, and then that low bidder usually wins unless there's something wrong with the bid document or there is some other reason that you would not choose that person. So it's creating a competition that is very it's objective in the final consideration of what you're really trying to achieve with bids. Jay and I were talking about different aspects of the conversation. We're at a level that is, it's $100,000 is, I think, the state requirement for capital improvement, where they really govern what you do with regard to bidding. So we're at level where you could really exempt this from a bid process, but if we're doing bids and everybody thinks they're putting in a bid in competition, we need to level the playing field with a bid sheet.
Would you share with, sorry, explain a little bit further about, I thought if it was a project that was over $100,000, it has to go out for bid.
Absolutely obligated to.
Obligated, right.
Under the state.
But under, just out of fairness, you recommend that we do that?
I believe we have a procurement ordinance in your code
Okay.
that sort of says we can collect up bids. Not necessarily a sealed bid circumstance.
Mhm.
So we could make that even clearer under a procurement ordinance, how we do this. But what you're trying to do is get as far away from subjective decision making in the process. And most of our acquisition ordinances really put public contracts in that area. And it's just that can always be, because sometimes if you have you only have one source. And your procurement ordinance anticipates that.
So your recommendation is for me to come up with a line by line item of our requirements, send it out to any companies we want, including these, have them send it back in a sealed bid, and then open it here.
It's exactly, yes, it's exactly the criteria that y'all were all talking about.
Okay.
And to have the RFP component of that and say, okay, tell us about your experience as a component of that bid process. That gives you, if you're really familiar with with a quality person who does that, and you got one at 11.7 and one at 10.5, but that person, that subjective element in there can change the outcome of that.
Okay.
But it needs to be in the process as your criteria when it goes out to them.
So do you put a line item for each thing that you want done, and then you also can put in there, explain your expertise?
And we could say we need this job done in 2 days from start to finish, so please just items. Okay.
Include your insurance and your.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that. So it would be a recommendation for a motion to table this.
Yes, and yeah, we if they've been presented, I don't think we have anything that has to be accepted in the process we're in. We just collected the.
We got estimates.
Yeah, we just collect. So I don't think there's something to be rejected. If we do it the next time and the numbers don't work out when you're doing a seal bid, then you reject them and start up. It's the collection to.
All right.
Draft a bid sheet.
I do have one question, because I saw this come up quite a while back, where there was some work that was being considered and bids were out. And it was a fair amount more than this that was involved, but it was not up to the 100,000. But there was the question of whether or not these people needed to be bonded for the work. And is that something we need to be concerned with or not concerned with at this low level?
It is to be concerned about because some of those bonding requirements are state law. And there are different bonding requirements for capital contracts, which is over $100,000. All those have to be bonded, both payment and procurement bond. Road projects, I think the threshold is lower than that. By road projects, it means sidewalks and stormwater work. And so there's a different set for that. And then below those, you don't have to do it, but you can do it.
It was not required for something at this,
I don't,
but it is. Okay.
And my other question is, because I know painting contractors, roofers, a lot of people like that, they're famous for wanting upfront money. How does the city work with that or not with that? I mean, I'm concerned with us laying out money up front and getting no work done.
yeah, you're not at risk of not getting paid and dealing with the municipality unless you don't. You know, there's a price source and
It'll
the
be
property.
completion of the job.
Yeah.
I will put that in the.
Yeah, I think that's what's big.
At completion. Okay. All right. Thank you. So could I ask for a motion to table this?
I'll make a motion to table, painting, quote and, allow the mayor to draft a document to send out for bid.
Is there a second?
Don't we have to have a time frame?
We'll table it to.
The next council meeting, August 18th, the council meeting to work the next
Council meeting.
Okay.
I'll bring the sealed bids.
Or not. So you're gonna put out an RFP and send it out between now and then and bring bids. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying, why did we table it to?
The next council meeting.
All right, I'll second that motion.
Okay, is there any question about or discussion? Good?
Yes.
All right. All in favor?
Right,
And that was August 8th.
15.
15th.
Maxine, are you in favor or?
I'm gonna be sure we got it right. Because I was looking at the second Thursday in August, it's the 8th.
It is, the 15th is planning and zoning, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Maxine. All in favor?
August.
All right, all four. Thank you. All right, well, we got through that one. This is what you short meeting. Okay.
Mayor,
Yeah.
we need to go back and amend the motion to table.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for you're right.
All right, so should we do that now?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to amend tabling of HUD WGRZ -24-01 for 30 days to August 8th. Instead of August 15th.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, we are on to the HVAC replacement. I'm gonna go ahead and ask a clarification on this before we even start. Do we have to do it in the same way? This is more of an emergency fix. On the municipal building HVAC replacement.
Yeah, the, codes normally, you know, when the air conditioner's out, you don't have a choice, and it is an emergency, and those are usually bigger.
Thank you. Okay, so we have, you have two quotes in front of you. We did have a third company come out. They were called Mechanical Associated Mechanical. They do HVAC. They specialize in that. And when I told them what we got with our two current bids, they said they could not possibly beat it. So they did not want to put in a bid. So we have J.H. Martin. We've confirmed with him that it would be a Goodman 3-ton heat pump system, which is what we have out there right now. And they came in at the lowest at 6,500.
It is my hope that we will not exceed, or even not exceed, that we will not hit that 6,500 because the mechanical, parts upstairs, I don't think need to be replaced, but the most it will be 6,500. And that was their recommendation for replacement. When we spoke with both of these, both Brian and I met with them, and they, machine that went out, it is due to age and wear and tear. It's not from lack of maintenance, but it's due to age, and it's time to replace it.
I have, I just replaced the HVAC in my house and nothing was wrong with my air handler in the attic. It's only 2 years old, but because the Freon changed, the only way for me to have a 10-year warranty on the whole system was to replace both. So if we cannot get a warranty,
Right.
if
Replace it.
but yeah, absolutely
Absolutely.
make sure we replace it.
All right.
Because, wait a minute, he does have an option B. What does that mean?
Or
Is that additional? Yeah.
No, it's not.
Additional or
No, you
another,
can replace the condenser coil.
or another option?
It's
That's
another
just a
option.
repair, right?
But both companies, actually all three companies said if you replace the condenser coil and do the different refrigerant and stuff like that, it's a Band-Aid. It has reached its age that it needs to be replaced.
Do we have a copy of the bid from the other company? You said there was three.
Well, the third one, they did not want to put in a bid. Yeah, it's just two. They said they couldn't even come close to it.
Yeah, I just replaced my whole unit. I did it a lifetime ago. I know.
And Phelps Heating and Air, I believe Brian met with them and they said to Brian that they didn't even want to suggest replacing a coil and the refrigerant. It's time to replace it. And if you looked at the parts, they're corroded. It's time. They looked at the age on it and it's time. Wait, I don't know if it's 30, but it's pretty old.
So I will make a motion that
Do we have a, I got another question, I'm sorry. Do we have, no, I forgot what I was gonna ask.
It's okay.
I'm old, give me a second.
Well, why don't we make a motion and a second? If you think of it, we can have during discussion, okay? Is there a motion?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to proceed with replacing HVAC unit at the municipal building and using J.H. Martin to do so.
Is there a second?
Okay.
Is there any discussion?
Yes. I am old, I'm getting.
That's okay.
Okay. A warranty, I don't see anything on J.H. Martin's about a warranty. Maybe I'm just missing it.
I will clarify that before we move forward with it, but I'm certain there is one.
But there is one, I'm sure. He spoke about it,
Okay.
I just forgot to.
Okay.
When you buy a new refrigerator, you got another refrigerator, so you have
Yeah.
to follow the warranty.
All right, we have a second and all in favor of replacing the HVAC unit with the using J.H. Martin. Please raise your hand. Anybody against? No. Okay.
Or providing it's an acceptable one.
It was nice working with JH, and it's nice that they're local, and I know the other one is too, but it was the best price.
Okay, for our reports.
We have our public works report. I want to let you all know, I have instructed and let both our code enforcement and our public works manager know it's not necessary for them to be at these meetings as long as they fly a report. They are always welcome, and they can come give the reports if they like. But they put in enough hours during the week that having them here also is, I don't feel it's necessary. If there is a time when we need to bring somebody in, then we are always open to that. Please let me know in advance and I will have them to be here. So our Public Works Department, their report for today is, he has worked with Bruce Williamson, our state representative, to get the leftover voting machine picked up and out of the municipal building. He'll be picked up in the next few weeks, and he's very excited to get this accomplished. On Forester Cemetery Road, working with Ray Johnson from Walt County. They aid us in cutting back tree limbs and vegetation along the road, making the road safer in the curve. It really opened up the road. They also had a rock asphalt, did a demo with rock asphalt, the company, and they had asphalt for potholes. And we had a pothole over there. He had somebody come out and do a demo with the product on repairing the potholes, and we really liked the product. He and I worked together. He originally thought that they could only be purchased, the product could only be purchased in a pallet form. But we found out by talking to the company that we can purchase it in individual bags off of the Home Depot, which is great because it's a great product. At the city park, they're repairing boards on the picnic tables and pressure washing them in the concrete pads. They're almost done with that. The company that we used for Fiddlemore Tree Service did an outstanding job of cutting trees in the park and getting everything removed, and they really did. Also, we're working on purchasing a double swing behind the municipal building when we start spending money again. We had vandalism on one of the basketball goals, so we're getting one to replace that. And they have plans on sprucing up the park bathrooms with new paint and LED lights this summer. At the sewer plant, KT Miller has started cutting hay at the sewer plant, and he's working around weather to get it done. And so far, so good. No spray heads have been hit.
Wow.
And City Hall and the library pressure washed both to the buildings and the front of City Hall. And that along with their everyday grass cutting, as you can see, even with the holiday, they almost have all of the whole city done this week. And so they're doing a really great job. But that's
This heat, it's a good time for them to play in the water.
they need a little water, definitely. They're working very hard.
I know they are.
They're working very hard. So the next report is our city clerk report.
Okay, I did have the financials for y'all tonight. You all should have a copy in front of you too. Our general operating account, we have $609,509.66. Sewer service district, $13,925.09. 2019 SPOS, $940,545.97. Our money market, $739,641.76. And our sewer money market account has $1,175,336.33.
And we don't have the tickets or the the rentals because Sonia's on vacation this week.
I'm gonna have her show me when she's out. I haven't told those, so if she's ever out again, I can probably do that shit out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did we have credit cards?
The credit card account, what's the word I'm looking for? The last credit card statement we had, you got at the end of June. A new one for July has not come out.
Okay.
And it will not be coming in your packets. It will be sent to you via email each time. Okay? Okay. All right, for code enforcement, I did not get a report from Craig because everything we have talked about tonight, he has had his hand in. Everything. The decision to bring him back on by you guys was one of the best decisions we've made since we've been up here. He is instrumental. We can't do this without him. Things are working out so much better. We are saving money because of him. And he is just a joy to have in the office. What else? He has been working on some code enforcement when we're having some major issues with some residences and some businesses, and he's getting those squared away. We have an industrial parkway that is getting cleaned up with a lot of buildings that have been put there and permitted for a period of time and have been there for 3 years. And he's getting that straightened out. He's doing an amazing job. I'm meeting with him tomorrow morning. We are going over the policies and procedures as well as the fee schedules and getting those back up to where they need to be, changing them. So that's everything you've heard tonight when it comes to planning and zoning, anything like that. Craig has his hand in it, and that's what he's been doing. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has been very busy since being back. But I was wondering if we could start getting those spreadsheets again. With the code enforcement spreadsheets.
The ones that Bureau Veritas used to send out. What we're working on is there is a work order system that we're getting back online. It's something where when there is a work order put in, or he's working on a code enforcement issue or planning issue or anything like that, they will start putting those in and then running those reports, and you will start getting those. And that will also include what Public Works is doing. Public Works, for every job they do, every repair they make, it will be in that system, and that report will run, and you all get those reports. Yes, and we'll keep trying to get this back on as quickly as possible. My report. Let me get going. Okay, so we're, LMIG has opened back up again. That's the land and local maintenance and improvement grant. That's open again. So we are eligible for another $20,658.19. That opened up July 1, and so we will be applying for our spot.
Sorry.
Yes,
Do we get to include the roads that are in, Donald Farm yet?
not yet, because those haven't been included yet. The city, sorry. But yes, we're waiting on that. The GFA loan for the expansion of the sewer plant is on track and moving forward. We get emails a lot about where we are in the process, and everything is going well so far. We haven't had any hiccups, so that's great. And Kimberly has been instrumental in helping Joe keep on track with that. We got an estimate from Aaron Wadley, who is our on-call engineer. And you all had approved for me to spend up to $3,800 on 4 samples. He was able to get a quote from East Coast Grading for $800 to get the job done, and that's going to be put on the schedule for next week for the follow-up. So we're moving forward. The gas pipeline repairs, that was a hairy one. Well, right before I was leaving for going out of town, we were notified that the gas pipeline repair had to be done and the road was going to have to be closed down. It went off without a hitch, and that was well in part to the efforts of Brian, Craig, Ray Johnson from the county, and Williams Pipeline. Everybody worked together, and we made sure that everybody was kept safe by making sure that 911 dispatch was in the loop also. We will still plan on doing 2 more pipelines just like that in the future in August and September. And so I will let you all, I will keep you all up to date on that. Comcast, we were able to contact them this week, and we put new contracts in place. And due to that, we will be saving the city up to $6,500 a year on that with getting better services. We have had a plethora of visitors, business owners, people who want to bring business to the city, coming in and just talking with us. And we're taking the time to talk with everybody. Good news is the coffee and the burger shop folks are back on track. Yeah, which is wonderful. The gas station is back on track. They had a lot of work they had to get approved, but we're back on track with them. It's really wonderful to have just anybody come in and just sit there and just want to chat with you. And we're taking the time to talk with people. And kind of like what Dana was talking about, walking over to the library to schedule the roofing job with you and seeing Miss Townley, who was my son's 3rd or 4th grade teacher, behind the counter and just chatting with her. It really gives you a sense of community, and it's really a great thing. Also, I wanted to let everybody know something I noticed at the library, because I always used to go to them. Where do I go? I go in Loganville and drop off my flags, but you guys accept flags who have done their service at the library also, which is great to know. I went to the Humane Society right up on 138 and had a tour of their facility, because I'm going to start volunteering with my mom and my son when he's in town. And amazing what they are doing up there. They are working with Walton County and its citizens. If there's somebody who is lost a job and they can't afford dog food and they have to, get over a hump, they can go up there and talk to these people. And the people at the Humane Society will help them get through this so they can keep their dog. They are doing 60 to up to 100 spade and neuters in the next 2 weeks with a visiting vet who comes in, and they're doing it for free. Just get on the schedule. They work with Paradox here in Walnut Grove. If you can't afford the shots and the immunizations, you go talk to either one of those. They'll work together to help you. It's just amazing what they're doing. And they're a 501c3. They rely on all donations for everything. You can go to Amazon, you can make donations there. You can just bring it up to them. The citizens of Walton County have been very good to this Humane Society. And it was just really, really good to see. I am meeting with Emily Bovenkirk, who did the small library. I'm meeting with her and her mom tomorrow. We're getting the agreement signed. We're gonna work on a timeline to get that installed here and how it's going to happen. And I want to make sure that we contact the library so that, not the library, the Walton Tribune, so that we can get in the Walton Tribune and have Emily highlighted a little bit for her efforts. Upcoming things I wanted to share with you. I met with Marilyn Hall and Rachel, Councilmember Davis, the other day, because we wanted to kind of brainstorm a little bit about what we need and what we see we need. Also, after having gone to convention, I think a lot of us have spoken that there are things that we need to get in place so we can move forward successfully as a city. She has shared something, an update on design guidelines and preparing a meaningful comprehensive plan. I will get that to you so you can take a look at it. We'll be discussing that on the next work session. Additionally, in line with that, we'll be discussing a retreat with the Planning and Zoning Commission to have them involved in that, as well as discussing the downtown overlay, our zoning issues, ordinances, and fee schedules. So that's a biggie. There will be a called meeting before our next work session, and at that called meeting, we will be discussing the millage rate rollback. Okay? And that will be advertised in the paper by Monday, well within our required needs. Municipal court is coming up next week, if anybody hasn't been and they're interested in attending. And then we will be scheduling our briefing, our painting, and our seal coating, all happening within the next 2 months. Get that done. And I think that is it for me. But as you can see, we need a city administrator and everything very much. Okay, so that's my report. Is there anybody who would like to speak at the town hall? We'll move on. Council comments. Why don't we start with Linda this time?
Well, I don't really have anything.
Okay. Rachel?
Thank you for all your hard work, Mayor. I'm happy that Craig is digging in and
Yes.
giving us great output. I'm really proud of that. And man, sounds like Public Works is on the ball too, doing all sorts of really good projects. I noticed they did the tables back there, which were nice. A lot of their stuff goes unseen, but it really isn't unseen, so we do see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're making it through the summer. I had some time at our convention and ready to put my boots to the work.
Maxine?
Oh, goodness. I did want to mention, and I didn't get in, that the road on Habersham, we are having quite a bit broken off near where they do the equipment. I think we must be the staging area for the whole thing.
We are. And I can share with you, I spoke with Lindsay, who is the project manager again today. She's asked me to get a quote together for the paving of that road, to share it with her so she can share it with her people who make those decisions.
Yeah, I had 2 citizens reach out to me on that reason. So
We will get that done.
mention that. I drove around and looked, and yes, from when I first started, that we do have some damage happening
On it.
We'll wait and see where it lands.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it lands. I enjoyed conference as well and feel like I got a lot out of, as much out of the extras as I did my classes, but my classes were all very interactive. I had instructors that were very interactive with the class, and I enjoyed it.
Good. It's mine.
Conference was great as always. I learned a lot. It was really funny. A lot of my classes that I took, and housing is huge in the whole nation right now, and so it was kind of nice that real estate and council kind of coincided together, and that was really cool. The city is doing a lot of work. I know that Stephanie, Craig, Brian, Kimberly, and Sonia all have their hands full, and they are working to the best of their abilities, and I appreciate all of that. Dana, thank you for everything you do for the city and the library, and you just help our community so much. And I just love our little city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are going to have executive session tonight, and it's regarding either personnel, litigation, real estate, or cybersecurity. So with that, is there a motion to go into executive session? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, all in favor.
Yeah.
Usually need a code in there.
Used to be three and then
Yeah.
I will make a motion to resume the regular meeting. No, I make a motion to return from executives.
Okay,
We just.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead. Unanimous. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.